In this lesson we're going to look at how to pass outcome 3 of the Unit 2 NAB at higher level. You need 7 out of 12 to pass this, so you can afford to lose 5 marks. However, we'll look at how to pass it and get full marks. So the first thing we have to do is solve this equation, and we have to solve it in radians because we're saying that x is between 0 and pi. Pi is 180 degrees, so I would say convert this to degrees first. And then because we're dealing with sine 2x, multiply your domain up by 2. So we're looking for values between 0 and 360. So rearrange this to get sine 2x, so divide by root 2 and you get a mark for that. Next thing you want to do is work out what your acute angle is. So if we inverse sine 1 over root 2, that's an exact value and that comes to 45 degrees. We've got a calculator, but you should be able to identify that as 45. Now the sign is positive, so 45 in the first quadrant is fine, and you also find that sine is positive in the second quadrant, so go back 45 from 180 and you'll get 2x is equal to 45 or 135. So these are our two answers for 2x. We're saying that we're looking for values between 0 and 360. If I go forward 360 from 45, I go past 360. And if I go forward 360 from 135, I think we can obviously see we go past 360. So these are our two values that we're looking for. Change back to radians at this point, because if you divide by 2 to get 1x here, then you'll end up with decimals. And that we don't want to do the change into radians with decimal values. So change into radians at this point and then divide by 2. So multiply by pi and divide by 180. Do the same with the 135. Now a wee tip to cancel these down. 45 usually goes into these values. So 45 always goes into 180 4 times. And you can see that that will be pi over 4. And the same idea with the next one. 45 goes into 184 times. And then in the top case it goes in 3, so 3 pi over 4. So try 45 first when you're cancelling these down. Finally, divide by 2. The easiest way to divide these by 2 is to double the bottom number. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. And if you multiply that by a half, you times the top number by 1 and the bottom number by 2. So it's pi over 8 and 3 pi over 8 for your second and third mark. Okay, question 7. The diagram below shows two right angle triangles. Part A says write down the values of sin x and cos y. So firstly, do Pythagoras to work out the third side in the triangle. In this case here we're working out the hypotenuse. So a bit of Pythagoras quickly in one line. 9 squared plus 12 squared and square root it. And that comes to 15. Now you get a mark for doing both of these, not just one. I've put a tick here, but for doing the other side as well. 10 squared plus 24 squared and square root it, you get 26. That gets you 1 mark. Now that we've got the three sides of the triangle, we can work out sin x and cos y just by using our trig SOHCAHTOA values. Sin's opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So in this triangle here, we're looking for the sin of x. Incidentally, what I'm going to do in part A is I'm going to work out the sin of x and the sin of y, and the cos of x and the cos of y, just because I know in part B I'm going to have to expand this to cos, sin, sin. So I'm just going to do it all at once. So the sin of x is 9 over 15. There's your opposite the angle, and 15 is the hypotenuse, opposite the right angle. So 9 over 15, and I'm just going to do sin y as well. Cos x as well, and then I'll do sin y. So cos x is going to be 12 over 15 here. I'm going to simplify them down as well. I know they both divide by 3, so that's going to go to 3/5. And they divide by 3 and it's going to be 4/5. it will make multiplying with the bracket out much easier. Sine y, we have to watch this one because the angle's up here. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, 24 over 26. Cancel it down to 12 over 13. And cos y is equal to 10 over 26. Again, cancels down to 5 over 13. So you get a mark for your sine x value and your cos y value. One mark for doing the both of them. You won't get any marks for the cos x and the sine y, but as I say, it will help you out in part B. So by expanding this, we have to show that the exact value of cos x plus y is equal to negative 16 over 65. So just look at your formula sheet and write cos, sine, sine. Use a takeaway instead of an add here. Again, the formula sheet will point you to that. And then use these values to multiply this out. So cos x is 4/5 times cos y, which is 5/13. So 4/5 times 5/13, take away. Sine x is 3/5, and we're going to multiply that by 12/13. So multiplying fractions, 4 times 5 is 20, and 5/13 are 65. And 3 times 12 is 36 over 65. You take them away, you get your answer of negative 16 over 65.